Hi everyone. We are back. I will say this. I do apologize for that quick interruption. We had a power failure here in our house, so I don't know what just happened, but we do have all the candidates back with us, so I'm going to bring them back on once again. I do apologize for that. And we will continue on with topic number 5, which is businesses, and with Tahir. Again, I do apologize for that, candidates. Thank you for sticking with us. I just want to make sure everyone can hear you. Can someone just say something quickly?
Welcome back.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm going to repeat topic number 6 here once again, and then we will continue on from there. This is about businesses, and we were at Tahir because I think I was just throwing it to him and then it did cut out. So Tahir, I guess I should start my camera so that way you can see me.
Chris, I'm assuming that's topic 5.
Yes, topic 5. Sorry. Yes, topic 5. And this is about businesses. I do apologize once again. This question is from Carlos. I have recently thought about starting my own business. I have found the process dealing with City Hall overwhelming. How will you, as my next city councillor, navigate the process in City Hall after you get elected on October 18th to help me? 2 minutes to yourself to hear. Again, I apologize. I'm going to say that a lot. As Canadians, you will be used to it probably. But 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you for that. And perhaps I'll throw in maybe some funding for new internet or something of the likes. Don't worry about it, Chris. It happens. It's the environment we're in. So Carlos, thank you for that question, and congratulations. Congratulations on being able to start a business. It's a huge challenge that takes a lot of guts, but also it's an immense opportunity. So congratulations on taking that step. And there's two large challenges when it comes to starting a new business. It's financing, and it's permitting and licensing, and getting through that system to be able to do what you need to do, whether it's selling a product or service or getting authorized to build. So those are services that the city is responsible for providing. Now, I work in the public sector. I understand public procurement. I understand public administration. I understand that there are ways that we can make things more efficient to get from a department out to the end user. So thank you. It's great that you are bringing these up, because you are not alone. As a small business owner myself, I face the same challenges as you. When it comes to those out there that are considering starting their own business, there are supports the city does provide. The Opportunity Investment Fund was one of them. Another one is Platform Calgary. That is an organization that is supported by the city of Calgary to help entrepreneurs patch into an ecosystem that is thriving here in Calgary, that is bringing a lot of talent from not only all parts of our city, especially in Ward 5, but also all over the world, to build some great businesses and make them successful. The city provides resources in certain ways, and I encourage you to explore those opportunities as you can to be able to build a successful business, because a successful set of small and medium enterprises relates to a strong Ward 5 and thriving community here in Northeast Calgary. So thank you for your time, and we're back on schedule.
Thank you for that. Aryan, 2 minutes to yourself. And again, I apologize for that interruption whenever you're ready.
Hey, no worries. Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
Certainly. This question is from Carlos. Carlos asks, I have recently thought about starting my own business, but I've found the process dealing with City Hall overwhelming. How will you, as my next city councillor, help navigate the process at City Hall after you get elected on October 18th? 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Carlos, for your questions. With respect to small businesses, as a matter of fact, I do have this as one of my platform as well, to help small businesses, home-based businesses. and small businesses. I think one of the issue I do want to mention before going straight to answering the question of Carlos is that we're still within the COVID era. It's still unfortunate that a lot of businesses lost their businesses, and a lot of people wants to do something from home or wants to do something smaller where there's a lot of red tapes. So one of my top priority when elected will be is to make sure I cut the red tapes and make sure that come up with a hotline for small businesses, so that call line will be for small business owners to call directly and have access to various resources in multiple languages. So that's not only going to help them, and it's also going to be straight and more efficient and not time consuming, because a lot of people who wants to do business, they, as Carlos mentioned, they want to get on their feet and they want to feed themselves. They have mortgages to pay, they have bills to pay. So at the same time, we need to make life easy for our residents, especially, let's be clear, we're still within the COVID era, and this is going to still continue for a little while. And if I sit here and say that, yes, we're just going to go and then make everything possible, I don't think that's going to happen. But realistically, we need to be pragmatic and make sure, see what's reasonable, what we can achieve. And again, this will help us in terms of any support or services, cut the red tapes, anything that we can do to small businesses. I will be making sure I will have town hall meetings as well, especially with my residents' businesses. So this way I can deal with the issues. And if if the hotline is not working, then that's when I get involved and I'll make sure that I get the job done. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Stan, I apologize for the interruption. 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
No worries. And Carlos, congratulations on starting a new business. Obviously, small business owners are the heart of our economy. You're the lifeline of everything that we do. And I always say to people, look, we're a young city, we're a smart city, we're an energetic city, we're an entrepreneurial city, and we have all the makings for a post-pandemic recovery where we come roaring back. And a big focus of mine is on diversification, jobs, the economy, and obviously small business owners. And what I've found in recent years is government, whether from other orders of government or at the civic level, getting in the way of unleashing this potential that we have in this city. And I'll make sure that whether it's the business licensing process or anything else you're having issues with, we can streamline some of these processes by working with folks like yourself. One of the first things I'll do, and one of the big things that I advocate for, is collaboration and civic engagement. I'll make sure, Carlos, that you have a seat at the table when we do have some of these roundtable conversations with small business owners or other entrepreneurs like yourself to discuss some of the challenges that you're facing and see how we can overcome them. And we have to make sure that we do work with other orders of government from the federal, provincial, and local level, but also in the nonprofit and in the private side of things as well, because there's a lot of different things that impact businesses, not only the business licensing aspect. So I'll make sure that you have all the right tools at your disposal so that your business can thrive and that you can put food on the table and not have issues with government getting in the way.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for those answers. We will be turning to topic number 6 now. And this we will be starting with Tudor on. And this, as you can imagine, is probably one of the biggest questions that we got. This question is about your top priority. So this question is from Jasmine. Jasmine, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. But Jasmine, your question to the candidates, and Tudor, you're starting off. What is your top priority if elected on October 18th? Plain and simple. 2 minutes to yourself whenever you are ready.
Hi, thank you so much, Jasmine. And absolutely, as I did 4 years ago, again, as the only candidate that talked about the blue line, and I believe the candidate that is most educated on the topic, I think my top priority is that I will be pushing to get the blue line built. Unfortunately, for those who might not be up to date with the information, the blue line, when Saddletown Station was completed in 2012, the city had estimated that for 7.5 kilometers of track all the way to 128th, the cost of the blue line would be around $355 million for 7.5 kilometers of track. The most recent update from the city in November 2020 had the building cost estimated at $723 million. It had already doubled in expense. Now, what's bizarre about this is that 4 years ago, even during the last municipal election, nobody in the media, none of the mayoral candidates, and even very few, as in one candidate in our own word, talked about this project. And we have no problem discussing about projects of the size of the Green Line that are now 5.5 billion with a B from a train that's going to be from Shepherd to Eau Claire. But we have no conversation from the city. We have literally $0 put towards this project in a part of the city that we have the largest immigrant community, that we have people that cannot afford a second car, that we talked in the last year or two about diversity and equal opportunities for immigrants, but yet we're not providing one of the most essential services to these communities, which is sustainable public transportation. Without the blue line, the Northeast does not have a backbone. We need this project. And as a result, it's going to be a top priority. And if you go to my website at tudorforward5.ca and you look under my blog, read the blog, Where is the Blue Line? I have all the information there with all the numbers and all my sources. Thank you so much, and hope to have your vote on October 18th. Thank you.
Tahir, 2 minutes on Jasmine's question whenever you're ready.
So my priority is to focus on connected communities. And that means ensuring that we can work, live, and play right where we are in our homes. That includes reliable transit. That includes access to green spaces and playgrounds and ensuring that those are walking distance. Being able to ensure that we have the quality infrastructure, not just infrastructure. I mean, the Northeast has been chronically underserved by infrastructure for decades. It's not about getting the infrastructure, it's about getting quality infrastructure so that, you know, our folks here that choose to raise their families right here in Ward 5 get great services and great amenities. But it's also recreational activities. And so you may have heard that just before council wrapped up for the year, they provided and allocated a budget for a Northeast field house to be built here just straddling Country Hills Boulevard. That's awesome. That would be wonderful to have, and I'm glad the city decided to put some money towards it. However, it's one thing to allocate budget. It's another thing to get it done. And so we need to focus on getting that Northeast Fieldhouse built, not letting it sit on a list with 6 other projects for another 7 years. There are new communities out here that have been built for 10 years and are not going to wait another 7 years to get the type of access to recreational infrastructure that they need. So let's start focusing on being served fairly. Let's start focusing on getting built those commitments that we have allocated funding for and tying that all together, bringing communities back together so we can launch all our needs forward. This is important, and that will be my #1 priority on October 19th after I'm elected, to start working hard to get that Northeast Fieldhouse built. Thank you.
Thank you. Aryan, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is from Jasmine, and the question is, what is your top priority if elected on October 18th?
Jasmine, as I mentioned earlier, I'm running my campaign based on 85% on my platform from 2017. So I'm running my campaign. My priority will be safer communities, accountability, accessibility. Speaking of safer community, within 60 days, I'll be doing a traffic studies to see what we can do to tackle down the issue with respect to traffic, speeding, reckless driving. And within that 60 days, what we can do is we want to make sure that whatever the outcome comes, to make sure we keep our community safe. Another concern with respect to safer community is crime. Crime is on the rise in Ward 5. We need to make sure we tackle down these issues. We need to provide police more resources to have more police presence in the area, so this way we are safe and sound. And with respect to accountability, what my priority will be is to make sure that I'm accountable and make sure that any decision I make, it is with consultation of Ward 5 residents. A good example of Terradale Bridge. that was done with a proper consultation. And I'll assure the territory residents that that's not going to be repeated. And with respect to accessibility, I want to make sure I'm accessible. I want to make sure that when it's my turn and when a resident needs my attention, I don't send my assistant and not get the job done. And with respect to snowplow accountability, I want to also, we've been paying property taxes, but we're not getting the services. I want to make sure that we get the share for the snow plowing. I understand that there was a 3 or 4 times budget done with respect to allocation of funding for snow plowing. I'll assure you that I'll make sure that we make it for a 4th or 5th time to make sure that we have timely snow removal and keep communities safe and sound, and do whatever we can to keep Calgary Ward 5 and work towards beautification of Calgary Ward 5. On October 18, make an informed decision and vote for Aryan Sadat.
I feel like you guys are doing the wrap-ups now, but we still have another question after this if you guys are willing to go to a round robin. Stan, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Look, this is a great question. I mean, Calgary, this is a generational moment. The city of Calgary is at a crossroads, and we need to make some tough decisions. This new council will be making many of those decisions. But I think top of mind for everyone right now, I mean, we're still in this global pandemic. We all want to get through this collectively, safely, and we need to make sure that we're taking the advice of the experts and not government officials. Obviously, we got to listen to the government mandates, but the experts. What are the doctors saying, and what are they advising us to do? So that's important. But right after that, I talk a lot about the post-pandemic recovery. Look, this is important not only for Northeast Calgarians, but for Calgary as a whole. Like I said many times during this conversation, our downtown office towers have hollowed up, 30% vacant. We need to focus on filling up those downtown office towers. That will address a lot of the issues we're facing in our taxation, with the taxation issues that we're facing that have gone from non-res towards the res side. So again, with diversification, we need to focus on technology, clean energy, agribusiness, and so much more. Jobs. This is a passion of mine. I will work with all of our frontline workers, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, and everyone else, the retail clerks, meatpacking plant workers, and make sure that as we come out of this post-pandemic, as we come out of this pandemic, I should say, that nobody in Northeast Calgary is left behind. And that's a passion of mine. And I'll be your voice at City Hall to ensure that. I'll make sure that we invest in new jobs. We'll focus on expanding our transit, growing our recreational facilities, and make sure that we focus on inclusion. We have so many newcomers, and we need to make sure that everybody has a voice at the table. And I will ensure that for every important decision, you will all be included, and we'll make the right decisions to keep moving Calgary forward.
Thank you. And the last on this topic is Anand, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Thank you. As I've mentioned many times, taxes are going to be one of the main priorities to look and to see how we're going to reduce the city budget, because we need money to put into infrastructure. Infrastructure in the Northeast has been lacking, and something as basic as roads. The one thing that's irked me for many, many years is Country Hills Boulevard has been under construction for I don't know how long, at least a dozen years. In the meantime, the city has built a ring road around the city, but a short road into the Northeast communities has been neglected and left as a low priority for too many years. That's just a symptom or a sign of the city's attitude towards the Northeast, and that's got to change. We need more community infrastructure in the Northeast. We need community centers so we can foster community. We have a diverse cultural community, and if we can bring people together, community and prosperity are my main focuses on my platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Due to that 10-minute break, due to my internet crapping out and my electricity crapping out and Max, I'm going to ask all candidates if they're okay with this rapid fire question. I'll give everyone 2 minutes. As the next city councillor for Ward 5, you will have to think on your feet. So sometimes you will get posed a question. You might not know what the topic is all about. So if you do not mind, I'd like to ask one more question that you guys might not have been prepared for. Is that okay? I just want a shake of the head. Yes, no? Is that okay? And then we'll move into closing statements. Awesome. So we will start with Tahir on this one. Tahir, this is the rapid fire question, and it is, what will you do to stay connected with residents so we don't only see you during elections? 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
So the role of a councillor is to listen. We are accountable to our citizens. We are accountable to our residents, for the people that live in our ward. So the whole point of being a public servant and serving the people is to listen and to be approachable, to be accessible, to be out there in the communities, not only connecting with the community associations, but having town halls with residents. And so part of what I would like to do is kind of 3 different things. The first one would be to at least have a town hall with each community, right? We've got 11 different communities here in Ward 5. Let's bring them together and chat. Of course, in the current pandemic era, we can do that virtually, but it's really important to be an accessible leader when it comes to being able to bring communities together. The second point would be being accessible on social media. So there's a number of demographics, a number of ways people connect these days, right? We connect with celebrities, we connect with government officials, we connect with our families. That's another key, a very simple solution, but a key way to be able to reach a demographic of our ward would be through social media and various platforms, and being engaged in some of these community groups that are on platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the other social media wonders that we have. The third thing is using 311 more. So 311 is a great service, but it's actually undersubscribed most in Ward 5. So part of what I would like to do is bring the people to government and help them understand some of the services that are available. So let's try and connect through some of the services that do exist, that the city already offers, that do great things for us. But let's use that platform as a way to interact more directly with our council. And that would be a way to, whether it's email or through mobile platform or app, which is what the 301 is. So those are kind of 3 approaches I would take to being able to be reachable, approachable, accessible to my constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. Aryan, 2 minutes to yourself on staying connected with residents during so they don't see you during an election.
Well, I will start off with this, that when my clients come to my law firm, I call them the bosses. And when I go to the doorstep of my constituents, I call them the bosses, because they're the one I have to be accountable. Of course, I'll be looking into town hall meetings, virtual meeting, and also with respect to making sure that I'm accessible. As a matter of fact, on my pamphlets, I have my personal cell phone on it. So anyone who's calling me, I do apologize. And I will assure you that I'm not going to repeat what the previous councillor done in terms of accessibility, as I'm hearing at the doors. And I'm glad that the candidate, Mr. Sandhu, is not gonna, well, at least he's saying that he's not gonna follow his former boss, Mr. Chahal's footstep, that a lot of people are actually complaining of accessibility. So I'll make sure I'm accountable. I'll make sure that I be the voice on council, and making sure that not only I have a 2-tier system of complaint line for the residents, one for emergency services and one for general. Because as a matter of fact, we have almost 85 to 90,000 residents. And if I sit there to say that I'm going to be doing town hall meetings, and as Mr. Sandhu said that he's going to entertain the Mr. Carlos on that table, we have over 1,000 of people same level. So of course we need to be practical, and anything we want to say, we want to make sure it's actually we can get it done, not just making fake promises. So with respect to accessibility, I will be accessible. I'll make sure that not only my email, but my personal email and my personal phone call. And as I said, The reason I came for this is I want to make sure to be the voice of Ward 5. And this is not something I'm saying now. It's something I've said it in 2017, and I'll make sure I get it done this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stan, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
So this is such a important topic, and I'm so passionate about this. Look, sometimes people get elected to different levels of government, and they don't pay attention to the community at large. One thing I've noticed at City Hall over the last few years, there are certain councillors that didn't. They got kind of sucked into the City Hall vibe, and whether it was the committee meetings or the council meetings. Obviously, you have to attend those meetings, but one thing I will do is I'll be in the community every week, and I'll be doing town halls, and whether it's at the Falcon Ridge Community Center, at the Genesis Center, up in Skyview Ranch, round tables, and I've done a lot of these community engagements with many of you that are listening right now over the past 4 years, and I've connected with a lot of you. I've heard a lot of your issues, and I know how we can work together and make things better. One of the things I'm focusing on is being positive and uniting the community, and that's something I'm passionate about. I think we need to focus on how we bring people together, how we build bridges, and again, I'll talk about the notice of motion that I worked on, that we drafted up, the multilingual engagement strategy. This was important because 2/3 of the ward, like I said, English is not their first language. Many languages spoken, Punjabi, Urdu, Farsi, Hindi, Tagalog. So we need to make sure that we have the right platforms in place for our community to be active and engaged. And we need to be proactive. We need to make sure that when important capital and local decisions are upcoming, that the community is involved and activated in some of this decision making. And I'll promise you, I'll be there at the table with you. Look, like I said, we have an important budget coming up just weeks after this municipal election. And one thing I've been doing with a lot of people at the doors is asking their concerns about this budget. So right after the election, we will set up a town hall or round tables to make sure the voices of Ward 5 are heard at these budget deliberations.
Thank you. Anand, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Thank you. One important commitment that I've made is that during the week, my office is going to set time aside to be out in the community, door knocking on every week. So we're going to speak to the residents directly. We're going to set some time up, as I said, every week to be out in the community. I love talking to our residents. And I love hearing what their concerns are. And it gives me pleasure to be able to help them and address whatever needs that they have. And so that's my main commitment to our residents, is to be out there and very accessible. And and they will have a direct line to me if that's what they want. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 minutes to yourself, Tudor, whenever you're ready.
Great. Thank you so much. And absolutely, community engagement is essential in order for the communities within Ward 5 to be able to have the proper services and infrastructure that it needs. So how would I do this? Well, there's a number of ways. In the new communities, we have to establish community associations. We still have certain neighborhoods that do not have a community associations yet. And in the bylaws, the community associations are the #1 instrument by which the residents of that area can reach out to the city in order to impact policy and projects. Next, we have to continue, even as elected councils, we have to continue to come to these community associations events, to the community cleanup and to other events. You have to be present. You have to engage with people where they are. Once per week is not bad, but it can be much better. So we have to do much better in that sense. In regards to digital media, the previous councillor was very good at announcing when a project was approved, but he was very poor at announcing when a project is in debate or in deliberation. That is the moment that we have to reach out to the community and ask them, hey, what's good about this project? What's bad? What do we have to update? What do we have to take out? That has to change. Social media is exceptionally useful, but it has to be proactive, right? And if we do not do this, we are going to have a less engaged community. The reality is, in my opinion, the reason the Northeast does not get as much attention is because we are not as participatory in the process. And a big part of that is because of our representation does not involve our citizens more. In other parts of the city, the citizens know how to reach to the cities and the other levels of government in order to get what they need. We have to do this. And I, as a city councillor, will provide these opportunities. I will bring policy solutions, not just selfies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We are now going to turn to closing statements. This will be in reverse alphabetical order from the opening statements. They will be 2 minutes in length, and we will be starting with Stan. Stan, 2 minutes for closing statements. And before you start, I will ask all candidates, because I seem to get a lot of feedback right afterwards. Please tell the people how they can contact you. I field a lot of questions from residents who want to know how they can contact candidates. So please tell people how they can contact you. So Stan, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Look, like I said, this is a generational moment for the city of Calgary. For every Calgarian that's listening, we need to make sure we elect the right candidates to move our communities forward. I bring experience. I spent 4 years working hard behind the scenes as the chief of staff. I developed relationships with different councillors' offices, all of the councillors, the mayor's office, city administration, from city manager David Duckworth to all the general managers and directors. I have community connections with the community association vice presidents and presidents, residents at large. I worked really hard to deliver impactful projects to Northeast Calgary, the Genesis Center artificial turf field, $6 million investment, the Cornerstone field house, the funding that we got, the high school site that we pushed really hard for, Saddle Ridge Industrial. We have an athletic park coming online, 4 big FIFA-sized soccer fields, tournament quality. It'll drive provincial and national tournaments right here into Northeast Calgary. Great for our local hospitality sector, local hotels, restaurants, and the local economy. I bring a passion and I'm driven to move our communities forward, and I'll keep advocating for the residents of Northeast Calgary. I'll push to diversify our economy. I'll push to create new jobs. I'll push to expand the Blue Line LRT and the BRT network up 60th Street into our new communities of Skyview Ranch, Redstone, Cityscape, and Cornerstone. I'm going to focus on our recreational facilities, make sure we repurpose some of our park spaces for growing and trending sports such as cricket and field hockey. And I'll make sure I keep working with all Northeast residents to increase inclusion and make sure all your voices are heard during important decisions. And for me, this is an important election, and I need all of you to do your research and select the right candidates. For more information, please check out votestan.ca, and hopefully we can count on you to move Northeast Calgary and Calgary forward.
Thank you. Aryan, 2 minutes closing statement whenever you're ready.
Well, my message to the residents with respect to the first, they wanted to know how they can contact me, info@alexsadat.com, or they can visit my website, alexsadat.com. Now, with respect to my closing statement, I do want to say, my name is Aryan Sadat. I'm running for the councillor for Ward 5. I'm a lawyer by profession. I practice law. I ran in 2017. The platform that I have, it's from 2017. 85% of my platform is from 2017. Let's not make the same mistake again. Let's make an informed decision. Let's make sure vote for someone who actually care for this residents. I mean, for Ward 5. Let's make sure that we actually do our due diligence, that who put their name forward when the actual incumbent was there, and not waited for the opportunity and being an opportunist. At the same time, track record speaks for itself. To all those residents, please make sure. I understand that Mr. Sandhu is giving the resume of Mr. Chahal. Well, that's your job, Mr. Sandhu. And we want to make sure that we make an informed decision. And I'm running my campaign based on accountability, affordability, and safer communities. The issues that we're facing right now in Calgary Ward 5, safety, police presence, snow plowing, and making sure, even though Calgary, Upper Northeast, school issue is not my jurisdiction, I'll make sure I'll be a strong advocate and I'll make sure I get the job done. As I said, when my clients come to my law firm, I call them the bosses. And now the Ward 5 resident will be my bosses starting October 18. On October 18, vote for Aryan Sadat and let's make this happen. Let's win together, Ward 5 residents. Thank you so much. electsadat.com for more information.
Thank you so much. Tahir, 2 minutes to yourself for closing statements whenever you're ready.
First off, I want to thank all the candidates that have shown up tonight. The fact that we put our names forward to run for public office is a challenge, but it's in the service of the people. Those of us that are here tonight understand leadership. We understand that we have to show up to be able to serve our people. And so thank you. Thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. And thank you, Chris, for hosting us. Now, this is a generational election. There are going to be hard decisions that this council has to make, and that requires leadership. Not only leadership that shows up, but leadership that understands risk management, that understands how to financial budgets, that understands how to coordinate and collaborate with teams and different departments, that understands that there's different stakeholders with different voices that need to be considered. It also comes down to execution and delivery. So as a program manager and a project manager, that is what I do. I deliver. Now, when it comes to being an engineer, I have a different perspective. I bring something different, a different approach, a methodical, data-driven approach, an understanding and a perspective that is 2021, not 2017. We need new ideas to get us through and past into the post-pandemic era. Now you have a choice here. You can stay with the status quo, or you can take a chance and take this opportunity to make a difference for your Ward 5. That includes connected communities with reliable transit, extending the blue line, reducing crime, and making sure we have the ability to work together with other levels of government to prioritize how we get new schools built in new communities. I'm Tahir Merali, running for your Ward 5 City Councillor. Please connect with me, votemerali.ca, and make sure you go out and vote by Sunday as well as on October 18th. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tudor, whenever you're ready, 2 minutes to yourself.
Thank you so much, Chris. And I would like to echo Mr. Merali's thoughts. Thank you so much for doing this. You've put a titan work together with all the interviews that you have done with the different candidates and the different wards. And it was statistically impossible that something like that, what happened today with the electricity, was going to happen when you have that many interviews. So a great job again, and thank you for having us. In regards to the constituents of Ward 5 and the voters of Ward 5, I hope that throughout this debate, you've noticed that when I talk about the policy issues or the problems that we have in Ward 5, I provide data, information, and solutions. I've talked about the statistics on affordable housing. I've talked about the cost on the blue line. I talked about how to make our communities better. I am all about policy solutions. I've been in the public sector. I've interacted with politicians for a very long time. And the reality is politicians can be very good at speaking in general terms, make you use what make you feel good, and to smile at the door. But at the end of the day, it is a question of substance. It is a question of policy. It is a question of solutions. That's how you move forward. Everybody can say nice things, but if you don't come with substance, it becomes quite hollow. And I think that's what I will bring to the table if I get elected as your city councillor. I will bring to the city administration, explain to them, demonstrate to them, bring them in the field to better understand what our issues are in Ward 5. We've waited way too long in Ward 5 for public transportation, for sustainable communities, for recreational facilities, and we have to address that. Again, please check out my website at tudorforward5.ca, and more specifically, look under my blog post. I've written on all these topics. I provided data, I provided documents, I provided plans, I provided even audio and video information so you can be better educated on the issues so that you can make the best decision possible. So please take some time, and on October 18th and in advance voting, vote Tudor Dinca. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And last, we'll go to Anand, 2 minutes to yourself whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I was born in South Africa, and in 1974, our family home was expropriated by the government of the day. We were fortunate enough to move to Canada, and like many new Canadians, we didn't have very much. I will be forever grateful to my parents who worked very hard and sacrificed a tremendous amount to give their children a better life. I'm now a businessman and an entrepreneur. It is in this spirit that I want to make life better for everyone in Ward 5. At the end of the day, I want to see more money in your pockets. I want to see your businesses thriving. I want to see you experiencing and enjoying the rich cultural community you live in. I want to see great relationships between neighbors as we help each other in life's daily issues, whether it be snow removal, car repairs, or home improvements. I want to see neighborhood barbecues and potlucks, kids playing together, and adult recreational sports and activities. If this is what you want, please support me in my bid for City Council, and please ask your neighbors for their support. Together, we can revolutionize what you expect from a councillor. If you want to contact me, you can email me at yycward5@gmail.com. That's yycward5@gmail.com, or call me directly at 403-369-9637. That's 403-369-9637. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates, for that. I'm just going to jump back on here for if I can do this correctly, right there. I want to thank the candidates for taking time out of their busy schedule tonight and doing this. But I also want to thank you, the viewers, who have spent the last hour and 48 minutes with us, and including that brief interruption. And I do apologize once again for that. Without voters, without candidates, democracy couldn't happen. I want everyone to take 90 minutes out of their day and educate yourself. Educate yourself on the people running for mayor. Educate yourself for the people running for school board, Senate, the plebiscite issues, and even, yes, councillors. Watch this back again, both parts, because there will be 2 parts after this, and educate yourself. And get out and vote. Voting is currently underway, and it runs until October 10th. And also, get out on October 18th and vote. If you do not vote, you do not have a voice. So get out and vote. I will be back here tomorrow night with candidates for Ward 14 at 7 o'clock. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Have yourself an excellent rest of your Wednesday and enjoy your evening. Thank you so much, and have yourself an excellent day.